Okay, so we missed something that was completely obvious and would have totally tipped us off. Matthew, John, Mark, Luke are written right there above the directions.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. So I was just basing these off of the compass. I was basing, like, okay, the angel I thought was north, right?
Because it was up north.
Because the angel was up north. And I thought that Luke was west because this goat was west.
And he's
even
south.
though Mark is west. If you see
Oh.
on the compass page.
Oh, so that's what they face?
Right. So this goat is Luke, right? But Luke needs to be facing south.
Oh. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We're just kind of... We're a little slow on the uptake.
Alright, so I'm gonna turn this fucking eagle around and...
We're
get
struggling
him out
with
of
the,
here.
the mode they made to be easier than easy.
Yeah. Luke, okay. John needs to be facing east. And that is east for him. Good job, me. So, Luke, which is the goat, needs to be facing south. And he's doing that. And Mark needs to look up.
North.
Look that way. What's that?
Oh shit.
Is that a door opening? Sure is. Thanks, Mark. Woo!
Bingo. What's his name though?
No, it's Mark.
M-A-R-C.
See.
I think M-A-R-C is the spelling of Mark. It's just not a modern. I think, isn't that like a Latin name?
I don't know. Sometimes things are Latin.
Really?
Sometimes. Every now and then.
You know, this looks familiar.
Does it?
Mark is a given name. French, Catalan, and Romanian masculine name
Catalan.
derived from the Roman
Inverted
name Marcus.
torch leads to the land of the dead.
Inverted torch. Oh, well, let me invert this torch. Oh, there are more? Oh, there is more. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
M-A-R-C is a common
I believe you.
name.
Oh,
Even some Americans with that
sounds
name.
promising.
I don't know why I said it like that.
Here, let me see that. Yeah.
Let me at that song.
Okay.
There's a little door inside this little door.
No, you're not going out there alone.
Yeah, Roman
I want a
times.
mod that changes Nathan to Sora.
One person will have
Why?
Selena, Riku, and Elena to Kyrie.
Why?
Because it'd be fucking hilarious.
Take this with you.
Just Riku going. Just Riku talking about fucking women and shit.
Load this thing back up. Yeah.
Nate?
They called her the spinner.
Come on. I always am. Ah! I did not see that. Ah!
Nate, you're so charming and funny, haha.
And now you have brain damage.
You did.
How many chapters did you say there were?
22.
God damn.
What?
We're just
We're flying through this game.
flying
aren't we?
through this game.
Ah,
Is the first one generally considered a short game, or is it
they're all
just
pretty short.
Okay.
I mean,
like 2 to 3 hours? Or I guess it's
2 to 3 hours. No,
no, it's not that short.
they're like okay. So this game is like 6 to 8 hours long.
Okay.
I mean, this is our 4th session.
You know I can't tell time. Or count. I think the Tomb Raider games are pretty short too, but they're a lot more difficult. Well, than easy mode on this, obviously, but
Well, yeah. Oh shit. Yeah! Ah!
in Tomb Raider seems to, well, a reboot. Okay, I don't know if I want to spoil the shit. I also don't know if this is gonna go the same way as Tomb Raider.
What?
Do we find out that there are things beyond our current understanding going on in the behind the scenes of this game?
Well, yeah.
Okay, then it is like Tomb Raider. The whole like, oh shit, the supernatural is real.
Yeah.
I think both were very heavily inspired by Indiana Jones. Do you think any of the Uncharted games were also influenced by Tomb Raider?
Maybe. Maybe the original Tomb Raider.
No, of course. Yeah, not the reboot.
Because I'm pretty sure this game came out before the Tomb Raider reboot.
It did, yeah. I was just thinking the original, because this does feel kind of like the original. Except a little less platformy.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's safe to say that this was like a third-person shooter version of... Well, the old Tomb Raiders games were third-person shooters, but this seems like a more modern adaptation of that. And then the new Tomb Raiders seem like they're based off of this.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's going back and forth with the inspiration. Which is kind of neat. I really do want to see a crossover really bad. And I'm sure I'm far from the only person who wants to see an Uncharted Tomb Raider.
This, have you ever played Last of Us, like, at all?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I was gonna say, it plays a lot like The Last of Us.
All I know is there's zombies and a lesbian in it.
Bet I can get to this, Leeds.
Which is like...
Get it over.
I'm not really a big fan of zombies, but I am a fan of lesbians as a lesbian. So, I don't know. I don't hate zombies, and I don't hate zombies.
I do think it's unfair to write Last of Us off as a zombie game.
I'm joking, too.
Okay.
I know people have told me, like, holy fuck, I'm gonna name my kid Last of Us. This game has changed my life so much. So I assume it's at least pretty damn good, if not great. I try to be wary of hype, but I do feel with the general praise that The Last of Us got. I'm sure it's a very good and emotional story, but I've kind of preserved... It's actually kind of nice, because if we ever do play it, I'm going in pretty blind. All I know is it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So...
There we go.
I have had a bit of hype backlash with a lot of AAA games lately.
We got all the clues right here. We could do it.
Fucking...
How the hell does he think he's gonna get that?
What was it? What was that? Far Cry 4? Man, every single one of my friends was like, I'm gonna name my kid Far Cry 4. And, you know, obviously not that. But
See, that's why I never got into... That's why I never got hype backlash, because I never had friends who
There
were
you go.
hype about things.
you're lucky. No. But yeah, I don't think Far Cry 4 is very good. Hot take. I think it's like good for what it is. Like, I think it's like a decent first-person shooter and a story, and like there's the idea that the main character gets crazier as time goes on.
Yeah.
But like they have a weird morality system in the game. And they have like a final choice, and the choice is really stupidly obvious which one's the good one. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those moral choices that isn't a moral choice. It's like, hey, do you want to be a complete idiot and a dick?
You're also a very different gamer than most gamers.
Well, I've heard a lot of people shit on the ending of that.
I mean, I believe you, but what I mean is you're a lot pickier with games than a
That's
lot of
true.
gamers.
Yeah, but people were telling me it's like life-changing, Far Cry 4.
Yeah, but
Like,
people
it's
say
the
that
most
about.
clever.
But people say that about like every good game that they play. People literally say that about every game that they fucking enjoy. That it's life-changing. There are like 5 games a year that come out and everyone says that about them. And then I end up playing them maybe like 5 or 10 years later and I'm like, yeah, that's alright. I just... I don't get. I get the concept of hype backlash, but I never am a part of the hype. Like, the only games that I'm ever really hyped for are shit like Kingdom Hearts, where like I know I'm going to enjoy
you're
that.
Invested.
Yeah, I don't mind spending $60 on that.
Well, I mean,
But like,
I don't get into hype backlash. I don't get into the hype anymore. Period. Because of shit like hype backlash. How normal games feel a little like a game that is good kind of feels still not as good as I wanted it to be because people kept telling me.
Remind me again why you that superstitious idiot.
But I will say, like, I got really hype about the new Spider-Man game, and I was getting really worried I wasn't gonna live up to the hype, and it fucking surpassed it for me. So that was like, it actually worked out in my favor. But it, obviously it doesn't always work that way, and I don't think I'd even describe Spider-Man as life-changing. All of the video games that have changed my life have been for very personal reasons, so I would not, like...
the only games that are going to change your life are the games that you played as a kid.
And, well, Hat in Time for me.
Okay. I haven't played a game that has changed my life since I was like 8.
But,
and I play a lot of video games.
I will say, I wouldn't just say, oh, whoever you are, get a Hat in Time. I hate it when people say that shit, when they're like, they'll blindly recommend something to everyone.
Yeah.
I do that jokingly in some of our reviews, but, I mean, 9 times out of 10 it's a terrible movie, and that's why I recommend it to everyone. But, yeah, because it feels like human nuance is just too important to ignore when you're, like, doing a review. Like, if I would go, like, a Hat in Time. I think you would like a Hat in Time if you liked Mario Galaxy, if you're a big fan of, N64 collectathons.
Yeah.
But, like, if someone's like, I play Call of Duty, Battlefield, do you think I like a Hat in Time? I'd be like, based on those, probably not. You'd probably think it's a little infantile or a little, which is fine. You can not like things that are kiddish and things that are, goofy or comedic.
Have fun being boring.
I'm not saying, okay, I'm just saying it's okay to have other interests. I'm not going to blindly recommend a video game to you that
Yeah.
Don't recommend Far Cry fucking 4 to me. Don't say it's Skyrim with guns, IGN. I love Skyrim. Did not like Far Cry 4. Everybody knows I'm joking. That, like, of course it's not Skyrim with guns. IGN was fucking smoking.
I mean, I've
something.
never played any Far Cry game. What's so bad about Far Cry 4?
Oh, it's not bad at all.
Okay.
It's not my game.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a first-person shooter, and it kind of builds into... It deconstructs kind of the power fantasy. Like, your main character, like, slowly becomes more badass throughout the game. But you'll see them mow people down, and you'll see someone that you knew before you went down this path, and they'll be like, Jesus, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I know that we're defending ourselves, but you're getting too much enjoyment out of this. And I kind of, like... I get, like, ooh, that's kind of clever. And I agree, and I do give the game props for that. But people in that situation who never question it, and then an NPC says, you're getting too much enjoyment out of killing people, they're like, that blows their mind because they tend to play games where you're mindlessly mowing down enemies, which, again, fun for them, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But that revelation doesn't really hit as hard when you're, like, already a bit like, Jesus Christ, look how many guys I'm killing. And then an NPC is like, look how many guys you're killing. And you're like, yeah, I know, right? Like, it just...
That makes sense. Just two different ways of thinking.
Yeah.
Me, that would affect me because I'm very used to playing games where I just don't think about how many people I'm killing. I just barrel through.
Yeah. And like I'm saying, there is nothing wrong with Far Cry 4. It is a good game, but what I'm saying is it's not my kind of game, and that's why people who are like just recommending it to me without my close friends who know what kind of games I like were like, "You'll love this," and I'm like, "I didn't like it," and they're like, "Why not?" What's wrong with it? And they don't understand that I can think something's good and still not have a lot of enjoyment from it. And that's unfortunately a lot of people, when they don't like something, they're like, I don't like this, therefore it must be bad. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I can recognize when something's like not my cup of tea, but I can still look at certain positives about it and be like, well, I'm sure somebody likes, really, really likes this, and I'm happy for that person.
The way I like to say this is, even if you're somebody who doesn't like tomatoes, you should still be able to tell me the difference between a good and a bad tomato. Like, you can have a little bit of a tomato and tell me if the tomato is juicy and flavorful, or if it's watered down. Like, you just can, even if you like them or not. There is an objective way to judge quality without being biased about it.
Well, I don't think it's objective, but I agree with you, but it's like a different... I don't know how to say it. Your way was more succinct, I will admit that. But yeah, you can judge something's quality separate from how much you enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's a big takeaway I'm trying to... And then, that we're both saying. But like, I'm gonna be honest, these Uncharted games...
I don't think you would enjoy playing them very much.
I don't mind watching them, but I do... The sheer amount of enemies they just fucking throw at you would bore me very quickly.
Does Tomb Raider not have many enemies?
They do not nearly as many, and you're not in nearly as much of a power fantasy.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of stealth. The reboot, at least, and I like stealthy gameplay. It's funny because that would bore you.
Right. Like, you want me to move slow and hide? What the fuck?
Meanwhile, I'm like, you want me to run through this giant little area where all these guys are made out of fucking paper, and I'm just like, shooting willy-nilly, not even thinking about what I'm doing.
Boring. That's
boring to me. It's funny how it's so subjective. Like, what is boring?
Yeah.
Because stealth is like, I don't know. It gets my heart racing a lot more. I'm like looking, and I'm like the stakes are higher, and I feel like if I fuck up, I'm gonna get killed. Just that kind of stuff I like more. When it feels like the stakes are low, that's when it's. Of course, I don't like long loading times or anything like that, but like.
People used to get so mad at me for the way that I played Assassin's Creed whenever they would watch me, because I would play it like I would play it like this game. Like, you want me to go in and do a mission? All right, I'm going the fuck right in there and doing that mission. I'm killing everybody. And everybody watching me would just be like, "What are you doing? No, you gotta hide. Be stealthy." Like having a fucking heart attack.
I do think most of the time with Assassin's Creed, though, they do let you do either way.
Oh yeah, they let you. They provide you with the opportunity to do either or.
There is some mandatory stealth and sometimes mandatory.
Every once in a while, Unity was bad with that.
With mandatory stealth.
Yeah, Unity felt very constricting for my playstyle of Assassin's Creed.
Fair enough. I told you about that idea for a game I had.
Which one? You told me about a lot of ideas for a lot of games.
It was like a 2D side scroller. That's all meant to be about one person being like high aggro and the other one being low aggro. One person playing stealth and the other person playing basically distracting the enemies for most of the time. shooting them down, but also drawing their fire and stuff like that. And
That sounds neat.
I just think I like games that are that have asymmetric multiplayer. So like different play styles. Like there's Extra Credits does a great video on this. But to break it down, there's hard asymmetry and soft asymmetry, I think, are the terms.
Yeah.
And soft asymmetry is like Team Fortress or even like Battlefield, one of the...
I thought you were about to say Battle for Bikini Bottom.
or Battlefront. It's where you play... where everyone on the team has the same core mechanics, like running and shooting and stuff, but they have different roles to fill.
Yeah. To use a recent example, Apex Legends.
Yeah, exactly. But hard asymmetry is when people have completely different game mechanics. And I like both of those for different reasons, but I like it... the main reason I like it the most, and Extra Credits went over this too, is you can get two people who generally don't like the same games to play the same game together, and it's more fun. And that's why I like if you had one person going loud and one person going stealth. When I was younger, I had a dream video game I wanted to make, and I didn't think it was ever going to be possible, and nowadays it seems a little closer to that.
What?
Okay, so it's kind of it's a 4v4 multiplayer game, but you have two teams, and each team has one person in each role. Each team has a mercenary, which is like kind of a Master Chief first-person shooter type character.
Yeah.
Then you have a hack and slash, like, Robo Samurai. It was going to be like science fiction. So like a Robo Samurai type character who was like a third-person hack and slash.
Right.
Then you had a third person who was in a giant mecha. Titanfall has already made me start thinking, oh my god, this might actually work. And then the fourth person is playing a fucking RTS. And they control the like lesser units.
That'd be neat.
And like say the mech player on the other team is giving you a lot of trouble. You can just like focus on making like RP or like anti mech, you know.
Yeah.
And instead of mechs, maybe you can do like vehicle gameplay. Actually, that might be a better idea considering mech gameplays. It's not close to all the other ones, but I think there's more people who are like, oh, I'd rather fly a jet in the middle of this battle.
Yeah, that sounds fun to me.
There was a game out. I think it was like there was like World of Tanks, World of Warships, and World of... I might be way off.
World of Warships sounds like a World of Warcraft spin-off.
Yeah. Whoa! Oh my god, it looks like you attacked the camera.
It did. Shit.
World of Aircraft, World of Tanks, and World of like Warships. And like I think they combined them all at one point. If I recall correctly.
World of Warcraft.
But it was literally
Hello? Oh, hey guys.
But yeah, I like games with hard asymmetry, especially when it's just it's kind of hard to program for that because you basically have to program two games.
Yeah.
But when it works, it works. That's why the Wii U could have opened the door for a lot. It did, but